Hello YouTube family, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well. I want to read to you again from my booklet, Why Does God Allow Suffering? Causes of Misery. Nations and individuals suffer many miseries because of ignorance and of disobedience to the same spiritual laws of God that Israel disobeyed. God's commandments are living laws with universal application, providing benefits for obedience and punishments for disobedience. His inspired word tells us that those who love his law have great peace, but the way of the lawless and unfaithful is difficult. The Bible points to many agonizing human experiences that are direct results of sin. One such example is military aggression. The Apostle James wrote of the origin of armed conflict. Where do wars and fights come from among you? Do they not come from your desires for pleasure that war in your members? You lust and do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war. These words apply to nations as well as individuals, since nations are simply groups of people looking out for their own interests. Aggressors go to war out of a desire to enhance their power, prestige, and wealth. In so doing, they, they thrust aside law, ethics, moral, and peace. They kill and maim to further their ends, putting into practice the might makes right principle and the maximum that to the victor goes the spoils. Will and Ariel Durant understood this human tendency when they wrote in the lessons of history. The causes of war are the same as the causes of competition among individuals. Acutedness, pugnacity, and pride, the desire for food, land, materials, fuels, and mastery. Ironically, nations that freely choose violence, include warfare, often inherit a fate similar to that of the countries they crush. Jesus understood this when he said, "All who take the sword will perish by the sword." His history is a chronicle of the successions of empires conquering and being conquered. Mankind is doomed to repeat the cycle as long as disobeying God remains our chosen way. Decisions have consequences. Many forms of suffering are simply the inevitable consequences of personal decisions. For example, in many advanced nations, pockets of poverty persist in spite of billions of tax dollars spent to combat the problem. Often, that poverty can be traced to individual decisions. Students drop out of school, cutting short their education, and consigning themselves to lifetimes of difficult jobs, low wages, financial hardship, and frustrated ambition. Many teenagers become sexually active, with millions of girls having birth out of wedlock to children who may never see their fathers. Studies have shown that children abandoned by their fathers are far more likely at an early age to turn to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco, adopt criminal behavior, and become sexually promiscuous in their own turn, bringing suffering on themselves and others. Many young mothers, often unmarried because the fathers ran from responsibility, find themselves trapped in low-paying jobs with young mouths to feed and forced to rely on handouts, usually from the government or charities, to survive. The pattern repeats itself in a cycle of poverty spanning generations, usually because of short-sighted personal choices and actions. Health and choices. Untold health problems plague us because of our individual decisions. We eat poorly, fail to exercise, consume harmful substances, and carelessly injure ourselves and others in accidents. Many suffer from mental afflictions as a result of violating the principles governing relationships that the Bible clearly spells out. Physical and psychological problems result from the abuse of alcohol and other drugs. Such abusers not only risk taking years off their lives, but their habits exact a huge toll on their families and friends. Even more tragically, many abusers are involved in accidents that cripple or take the lives of innocent bystanders. The, phys- the physical harm caused by smoking is solidly documented. Smoking-related illnesses take 400,000 lives each year in the United States and millions more worldwide. Many of these deaths are excruciatingly painful and slow. We readily not acknowledge that the best cure for the grief caused by smoking is simply to quit, yet many are so addicted they spurn this obvious solution. Smoking is but one of many behaviors that cause pain. Dr. Paul Martin notes that instances of seemingly in- innocuous behavior can add up over time. There are plenty of commonplace behavior patterns that kill people in gradually but in huge numbers. In the book with Philip Yancey, Dr. Paul Brand reported that at a major national health conference, he began a list of the serious behavior-related health problems on the agenda that take a serious toll on American health. They include heart disease and hypertension exacerbated by stress, stomach ulcers, cancer associated with toxic environment, AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, insomnia, emphysema, and lung cancer caused by cigarette smoking. Fetal damage stemming from maternal alcohol and drug abuse, diabetes and other diet-related disorders, violent crime, automobile accidents involving alcohol. These were the endemic, even epidemic concerns. For each, for, for health experts in the United States. In making decisions that lead to such patterns, our bodies often alert us to the dangers. Brand and Yancey note that an astounding proportion of the health problems stem from behavior choices that show disregard for the body's clear signals. We reap what we sow. The conclusion should be obvious. Much suffering is caused by wrong choices. The Bible offers guidance as to how we should live, yet as far back as Adam and Eve, we have repeatedly spurned God's instructions and brought enormous pain and sorrow on ourselves. The Bible offers practical advice on virtually all aspects of life. Many of its principles reveal how to avoid and to some extent relieve suffering. We have compiled much of this guidance in Making Life Work, a booklet showing that many things in life go better if we simply apply principles God reveals in His Word. Be sure to request your copy from our office nearest you, or download or request it from our website at www.ucg.org/booklets. We cannot live substantially free from suffering until we are reconciled to God in His commandments. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. For the length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Were we to follow God's instructions on a national scale, we would see immediate and drastic reductions in crime, disease, hostilities between nations, pollution, accidents, mental illness, broken families, shattered relationships, and many other phenomena that cause us grief. God's law is not harsh or ominously restrictive. It is a law of liberty that would eliminate most of the world's pain if it were universally obeyed. Amen. Okay, that's it for today's reading. And I'll read to you some more later. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until I see you again, God bless you all. Goodbye.